Hello, this is Sarah with Pooch Designs, and today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these fun skull dog collars. Now this is a free pattern on my blog, and I'll put that in the comments for you so you'll have that. They're really fun to make. This one is pink with a little sparkle in it. That's Red Heart Shimmer. And this is just the Red Heart Super Saver in black. What you're going to need is you're going to need just a little bit of black for the eyes and the white for the skull of Red Heart Super Saver number 4. And then for our demonstration, we're going to be using this green. Isn't this fun? This is spring green from Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver. And worsted weight 4. Now, you're also going to need your H hook. And I've got my favorite H hook here. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And then you're also going to need a needle. And the needle, of course, is to sew on the eyes, sew the skull on, and to weave in your ends. Now, this pattern is completely adjustable. And it works perfect for any size dog or pet. And it also makes a great collar for you. And this is a great addition to a Halloween costume as well. And just by making it longer, it makes a great headband, or make it shorter, and it makes a great bracelet. So it's a really versatile pattern, really super easy to do, and I think you're really going to like it. So let's go ahead and move these over here. We'll need them again in a little bit, but we'll move those over there, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make your beginning chain. And the number of chains that you will need is determined by how long you want it. And each 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, equal 1 inch. And so what you'll do is, according to your dog's neck, or however long you want to make it, you multiply times 4 and then add 1. And this one is for a much smaller dog. The pattern calls for 40 chains, 40 plus the 1, for a 10-inch dog neck. So we're going to be half double crocheting in the second chain from the hook. And if you don't know how to half double crochet, I'm going to show you real quick. Yarn over, we're going in the second loop, pull a loop through, and you have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to loop over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And then we're going to half double crochet in each chain across. Now, you can use any worsted weight 4 yarn that you want. You can use sparkle or you know, anything. I always tend, when I'm going to make something for my dog, I tend to stick with the Red Heart Super Saver or another acrylic yarn, because I want to be able to toss it in the wash machine, or at least spot wash it without worrying if it has any alpaca or wool or other fibers in it. Now, when I do a sparkle where it's got a thread of the sparkle through it, like this one here has a thread of sparkle through it, I'll just hand wash it and then lay it on my dryer. And the truth is, most of the things that I do make for my dogs, I wash on gentle and then I lay on my dryer. I know that acrylic is safe to go through the dryer, but I feel like that the things that I make are art, and I want them to last as long as they possibly can. And so I just wash them on gentle and lay them on my dryer to dry. And sometimes I'll even hang them on hangers and put them on my deck. Let the air dry them. All right, we're almost to the end of our first row of half double crochets. And for the most part, this is the only stitch we're going to use until we add our picots. All right, so we've got our first row of half double crochet done. We're going to chain 1. And chain 1 here does not count as a half double crochet. And then we're going to half double crochet in each stitch across. And basically we're making the center portion of our dog collar. I have a friend who's been making a lot of my items for her cat. And she's been posting some most hilarious pictures to my Facebook page. And she does a fantastic job, and she has a very sweet cat. So I said all that to say these are perfect for cats too. Okay. Almost there. There we go. I think you'll find you can whip a whole bunch of these up really quick. They take very little yarn to make. It's a great way to use up a lot of your scraps too. And because you can make them in any color you want. I think it'd be really pretty in some bright variegated too. All right, so we're in our last half double crochet. We're going to chain one. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be doing our half double crochets and picot stitches around. And when I say around, we're going to go down here, then we're going to turn this way, and then we're going to work back on this side on those chain stitches, and then back across here. And I've already got one partially done so that you can see, pull that underneath there, that I have started here and I did my half double crochets and my picots, and don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do those. Down this side, actually I started down here and came this way. We started here, we came this way, did our picot stitches, and then on the corner, you're going to put a picot in the corner, you're going to put 3 half double crochets across, and then put another picot in the corner. This is a tie I've already put on so that I can show you how to do that in a little bit. That's back here. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. So, how we do our picot stitches is we're going to start with a half double crochet in the next 3 chains. Now we're working on the chain side, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we're going to work in those chain stitches. So we made 1, 2, 3 half double crochets. To make your picot stitch, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to put your hook through the top loop and the side loop like that. Yarn over and pull that loop through those 2 loops, and then pull it through that loop that's on your hook, and that will form those cute little bumps. So now we're going to half double crochet in the next 3 chains. Two, 3, and then we're going to 1, 2, 3 chains, go through those loops, yarn over and go through all 3 of those loops. Then we'll have double crochet again in the next 3 stitches. So if you've never done a picot stitch, I think you're going to love it because it's one of my most favorite stitches. I use it on towels and blankets for fun edging. And it just makes a fun little bump. And the reason that I chose to use it on this particular project is because I think it makes the collar look like it has spikes. So if you wanted to change to gray, you could, and then it would really look like spikes. So here's another picot. We chained 3. We're going through those loops, and then 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now, when you began at the beginning and we chained, because we started in the chain and then we're stitching here in the chain, it might get a little tight. So if you're a really tight crocheter, at the beginning there you might want to go up to an I hook instead of the H just for the chain portion, and then stitch everything else with your H hook. And that will give you a little bit more room, because we're going in both sides of the chain and it gets really tight. 1, 2, 3. All right, another picot. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're almost there. But see how quickly this is stitching up? You could make a whole bunch of these. Wouldn't it be fun if you had like 3 or 4 dogs and put a different color on each dog and let them be at the door when you answer for the trick-or-treaters? I think the trick-or-treaters would love that. Although where we live, we don't get very many trick-or-treaters. I think we got 1 last year. That was it. I had to eat all the candy myself. Luckily, I got the good stuff. Isn't that cool how that's turning out? Alrighty. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. 2, 3. Then we'll do our peacock. Alright. Oops. Now we yarn over. Alright, and then we're going to put 3 half double crochets in the end. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to end with the peacock, so we have 1 on each corner. Well, hook, get in there. There we go. Alright. And then we're just going to slip stitch in that first half double crochet so we can tie that off. And then we'll use our needle and weave that in. We'll get that later. I'm just going to pull it to the back so it's out of our way. We'll just do a little loopy there. Get it out of our... Having trouble with grabbing my loops. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to attach the chain for the tie. So what we're going to do... Where did my end go? I just lost it. There it is. Well, what we're going to do is I have you chaining 25 for the 10-inch collar. Now, my thinking on doing the ties is that I do them shorter because I don't want them to get caught in dog paws or dog teeth or you know, dog hair that's got longer hair. So when I make a tiny one like this, because this one's for a tiny little Yorkie, I only chain 20. But for the 10-inch one that I did here, I chain 25. And the same thing with this one. I chain 25. And I'll show you what I do. And I'll attach this one and then we'll do the skull. Alright, so I've got my chain. And so then I just attach it like this. And then I usually do that twice. Like that. Cut off my string. Like that. On the end, I just make a little knot. Just so it has a little bit of a finished end. Pull that, not too tight, but pretty snug. Cut it kind of close. And then you have your tie, and then of course you can weave this in the back, and make sure you do a nice snug tie so that it doesn't come off. And that makes your ties. Now I know they look really small, but what I do is after I measure, make sure everything's right for my dog, I go like this, and I go ahead and make a bow, and make it nice and tight. Like that, and then when I go to put it on my dog, I just slide it on her head, or his head, either one. That way I don't have to tie it every time, it stays put, and the tie is short enough, they're not going to put their toenails in it, or their teeth, or chew on it, or anything. Alright, so let's get the skull made. It's really, really quick and easy. You're going to love it. So with our white yarn, we're going to begin with chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little chains, because it's a really tiny little skull. So we're going to be doing single crochets. We're going to single crochet in the second chain. We're going to put 1 single crochet and then 1 single crochet in the next 2. So we'll have 3 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. And we're not going to count that single crochet as a stitch. For row 2, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first single crochet. So there's 1, 2. Then we'll put 1 single crochet in the center, and then we'll put 2 single crochets in the last one. 1, 2, chain 1, and turn. For row 3, we're going to just put 1 single crochet in each single crochet, and that will give us 5 single crochets. You can kind of see it's starting to form a little bit of a skull. Again, chain 1 and turn. For the next 2 rows, we're going to just put 1 single crochet in each single crochet. Oh, my ball of yarn's getting stuck. Chain 1, and then again 1 single crochet in each single crochet. Okay, now for our last row, we're going to skip the first single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and this is forming the top of our head. And then we're not going to single crochet in the last single crochet, we're just going to slip stitch down like this and cut that off. Now what I want you to do, we're going to need some yarn to sew the skull on, so cut you off a good long piece, about 12-18 inches, and because we'll use that to sew the skull onto the dog collar. I'm going to pull my string to the back like that and just pull it through a couple like that, and I'm going to go ahead and clip that off. So now we have our little skull. We want him to look like a little skull, so let's get a piece of black and our needle. Let's see, this one's got a little bit bigger eye in it. I'm going to use this one over here. All right, and it's really easy to make the little face. So here's the bottom, and we're going to go in those 3 stitches and just make 3 straight, oops, I forgot to hold it with my finger. We're going to make 3 straight lines for the mouth. One thing to remember is you want to make sure you go through stitches, not through holes, or it will go through the hole. There's my mouth. Then we'll come up here, make sure you go through stitches, or it'll go through those holes. We just make 2 little straight lines. And depending on how you shape your eyes, depends on if your skull looks scary or not. You can make them go sideways, you can make them go, I did these really close together, so he's going to be a little bit silly. That eye does not look good. Let's fix his eye. There we go. See, what happened is I missed the stitch, and I went next to it, so it pulled funny. So that's why, another reason, you gotta make sure you get in those stitches. There we go. Now we have a silly little skull. All right, so I'm just gonna wrap that around that stitch a couple times. Make sure I grab both strings from the end, because you don't want to have any knots in the back of your skull, or when you go to sew it on, it won't lay flat. All right, we're going to cut off those strings, and now we're going to put this white thread onto our, let me untie this, make it easier for us to sew. And what I do to find the center, I just go like this, fold it in half, find the center like that. If you want to measure and make it perfect, you certainly can. Okay, now to sew on our skull, I just do whip stitches, because not whip stitches, but just straight stitches around, because if you pull it too tight, remember this is a stretchy band, a stretchy collar, and if you pull it too tight, it will not lay right. And I just go around the edges. Making sure it's straight as I go. There we go. And there's your little skull. I'm going to turn that over. Leave that end in a little bit since I've got my needle. Cut off some of these. I'll wait on those strings. I want to weave those in with the needle. So there is our green one. And this one's a little smaller, of course, because it's a little bit smaller dog. Tie our bow. And this one is ready to slip on a dog. Isn't that the cutest thing? Well, thanks for watching my video today, and I hope you'll make a bunch of these. Happy Halloween! Have a great day.